Welcome to Toffee TV. I am joined by Liverpool's hottest DJ.
Hottest talent-wise or looks?
Both.
Both. Me.
Dave Bennett, back. Seen him for a while, he's back, He's come back sporting the look. And obviously Sarah Halpin from the Blue Room, and is popping up here quite regularly. So it's all good. Right, we're here to talk about the first game of the season, Wolves 2, Everton 2. I thought I was really pleased with the performance, and I thought it was a decent point given circumstances, shall we say.
Yeah, well, going into it, as I was telling you off air, I had actually had a bet on Richarlison 2-2, so Richarlison's already a winner in my eyes, because that got me a fair few quid on Saturday. But I would have took the points. Like, obviously the way the game played out, and after 20 minutes it probably is 2 points dropped, because when you see how much Wolves actually were there for the taking and how good we did look, we'd have won that game with a canter if it wouldn't have been for the red card. So going in, if you'd have said 2-2 and plenty of positives from the play, I'd say I'd take that. But in hindsight, you feel a bit robbed by the referee. But again, it's a good point, and there's plenty to be positive moving forward.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, I'm pretty well the same as Dave here, but probably a little bit more gutted. Now I've had time to think on it, and watching the highlights back and stuff, there's a few things. There's the red card, which I think is a really soft red card. The free kick, Neves decides to take it about 6 to 8 yards further forward than where it was. The referee seemingly just oblivious or didn't care. What he's doing refereeing a Premier League match, I will never know. I don't think we'll see him for a while, because it was shocking. So no, it was really positive from the Blues. We played really well, and as Dave said as well, if Jags doesn't go off, we win that game 2-3-0 comfortably. I think about 20 minutes in the away end, we were all kind of like, these aren't very good at all, are they? And we're like, come on, Everton. These are the typical the shout, and thinking this is going to be a relatively comfortable afternoon. 3 points on the board, happy days. But no, it wasn't to be, due to poor decisions, shocking decisions. But plenty of positives. It's just going to take me a few days to get over my little bitterness towards the ref. You know what I'm like.
There's Sarah's rant on Craig
on the free kick thing, though, like, he's took it forward, but usually it's in the free kick taker's advantage for it to be 5 yards further back, because if it's that close, it should be within the advantage of the defending team, because the distance between the ball and the keeper and the wall, and if Pickford doesn't take that step to his other side, he does save the free kick. Because I remember when they did that rule where if there was dissent, they'd move the free kick 10 yards further forward. Alex Ferguson used to kick off about it, because people would intentionally get Beckham's free kicks moved forward, because it was harder for him to score the closer it was to the box. And the way that's set up, obviously, it's another chance for. It's a good. If Pickford hadn't have gone on to turn his World Cup around after that first game, everyone would have been all over him. Do you know what I mean? Because it's similar to a goal he conceded in the World Cup. But I mean, that's gone now. It shouldn't have. It was a bad touch from Jags. It shouldn't have been a free kick in the first place for the bad touch. We shouldn't have even been having the debate. It was the concern we had going into that. The reason I thought it might be a draw on Saturday was because of the defensive frailties that were clear to see in defence, and I thought we concede through an error on the day, and that actually turned out to be the case, because the error happens. It's not, for me, it's not even a foul by Jagielka, and then it's two errors. It's the error by Jagielka, and it's the error by Pickford that ultimately caused the goal.
What did you make of the team? I'd done like the starting 11 thing, and I had Lucas Digne just because we could be bought him. But I can't. When I seen the team, I thought it kind of makes sense. Easy. And Baines is still a brilliant footballer. There's no question about it. What I think we might see for the first few weeks going forward is Baines doing like 70 minutes. 75 minutes, and then Dean coming on to just get up to speed. Obviously that depends how the game's going. You're not going to take those kind of chances. But what did you make of the team? Is it
the team of fourth? Yeah, it's the team of fourth. It would be just for the fact that we're shaky at centre half at the moment. Obviously he's addressed that in the transfer window by bringing in the players he's brought in, but from a defensive point of view, you want to instill as much stability in the defence as you can. And when it's already a shaky defence, Leighton Baines isn't the shaky element of that defence. Do you know what I mean? It's that centre half. So while you've got them problems at centre half at the moment, having an old head like Baines in there so they can talk and communicate, I think throwing Dean in at the deep end a little bit, especially when they just signed Traore as well, who I know they didn't play, but that potentially could have been who's a very fast winger. It could have been a bit of a baptism of fire for him. As you say, I think it's good to ease him in slowly, because in the modern game, a substitution of fullback can be an attacking move sometimes, because they're such a big part of the attack. And if you've got Baines playing 70 minutes and you've got a substitution left, bringing on a fresh Luca Dean. Is that how we're pronouncing it, by the way?
That's what he said, Dean.
It was Lucas Digne in my head.
He was Digne, then it was Digne.
So we're going for Lucas Dean.
I can't shake Digne. I can't shake it.
He said himself, it's pronounced Dean. So, I don't like it. I like Digne. Or Digne.
It sounds a bit more.
Well, we had that song going for like Deacon Blue, Lucas Dignity, didn't we?
Lucas Dignity, we'll have to call it.
But no, I think it's a case of easing him in. As we spoke off air, I think the defence, even though it's shaky, it's not a part of the pitch where you want to just make wholesale changes and just throw everyone in as strangers. You do need them understandings in them positions. So obviously one of them's enforced now with Jagielka moving out, and I think he probably would have brought in one of the centre halves come this weekend, but bring in the one centre half alongside Keane, who I think will maintain his place after an okay performance on Saturday. So whether it's Mina or whether it's Zuma, then they'll go in there, and Baines will keep his position on the left, and then you'll gradually see Digne.
Digne, that's what we're going for. Sarah, I mean, the thing that encouraged me is about the performance was there was only Richarlison out of last season's team. That was different. So it was 10 from last season and Richarlison, and there was a massive notable difference in the way Everton played the game.
Massively. I think this is all credit to Marco Silva as well, and we've heard time and time again from players that have played under him previously, and anybody who knows him, worked with him, has said, and players that have joined us as well have spoke so highly and how integral he's been in their decision to join the football club. I think what he does so well is he gets the best out of this kind of, we've identified the dead wood that we couldn't get a tune out of, and they've gone, the majority anyway. And what we're left with, he's clearly worked really, really hard to get the best out of them as possible. I thought Keane, I'm still not comfortable with him playing at the back of. I thought he played well on Saturday. He was winning a lot in the air, and pretty strong performance from him. Same with Schneidlin. I thought Schneidlin had a really good game. Baines as well. I actually expected to see Digne start, but I can totally understand why it was Baines for the reasons Dave's just stated there as well, and I think he played really well. But it's fantastic to see that, as you said, Richarlison, I know we'll go on to talk about him a lot more, but what a little superstar he is. Fantastic player. Fills me with so much excitement and optimism going forward. But it's really promising going forward that we managed to get that result with 10 men despite all the rubbish decisions and stuff, and with only one new player in that side. When you think we've got Bernard, Mina, Zuma, Gomez to come in, that's just a sign of things to come, and I think we should all be feeling pretty excited going forward.
Not another digger portion again.
Well, it's shades of similar. Obviously, me and you were on the Blue Room back in the time when we were changing over from Moyes to Martinez, weren't we? And it's a similar situation to that, where even at the transfer window before we started signing players, I was optimistic about our chances, just for what a change in manager with the right philosophy can do. And obviously Moyes left on a high, obviously Martinez was taken over from a better situation than what Silva's taken over from. But in the same token, the way David Moyes set out his team and the way Roberto Martinez set out his team was night and day. And it was like you were watching pretty much the same players, but they were playing in a completely different way. And Martinez obviously sprinkled in, he managed to get Lukaku and Delafeu to come into more play to his way of playing. But it was just the ethos of the team had changed, and I was just excited to see the ethos of the team changed, regardless of what signings we ultimately brought in, which we are all happy about what they've brought in, what he's brought in. But the fact that Marco Silva is a training ground manager and is going to get the team playing in a way where we're going to actually look forward to going to Goodison Park again. I don't know how you're still doing this show, like, to be honest, after the last 2 years, because I've been pretending Everton don't exist during the week. I've been going to the game and I've been doing that Men in Black thing, Joe, when I get home, zap, that didn't happen.
That's why he looks so well, isn't he? He's so healthy.
But that's it. I ended up leaving the blue room. I couldn't do that anymore. I was like, I didn't want to spend my week talking about what I'd just seen on Saturday. Do you know what I mean? I was done with it by 5 o'clock. Dave. But so it's credit to you guys for keeping this scene still going. So the optimism ones that turn up when it's all looking rosy, like me, can come and be a part of everything again.
No, I mean, that's the big thing, isn't it? Again, when we were getting them, I honestly done so much reading on them. I done a tactic bit for our Patreon subscribers a few weeks ago, a tactic show. I've done loads of reading on them from every other club, not pre-season stuff, and it was all the same as like the coach, the training ground, the dragging players into position if they're not stopping train, and a lot of it is very David Moyes, like not the style, but that's what Moyes would do.
It's hands on.
Exactly, hands on. If you make the mistake, like Keane today, and I'm quite sure it's going on with Marco Silva, but that goal, the second goal, Moyes will stop that in his time and done that for an hour, and so that the Ruben Neves is closed down, Michael Keane's away, Mason Holgate doesn't let someone run off him. That will have been done and done and done and done, so next Saturday that situation doesn't happen, and that's what this fella does. And
well, fingers crossed, we've got the manager that's the perfect blend of Roberto Martinez and David Moyes. Do you know what I mean? Because that was the thing. Obviously, Moyes was so pragmatic. It was to his detriment at times. But it was why he was so consistently successful. Not successful silverware-wise, as I'm next door like to remind us all the time. Well, not that they win anything, but he was so pragmatic. He borderline wouldn't go for the jugular sometimes when we could have. Whereas Martinez was the other way. Where for the first season it worked really well with Martinez because David Moyes' defence was still in place, they could Martinez would be doing his thing, but they could all still say to each other, "But we're still gonna, we'll do this and figure it out." But as the season and the years went on under Martinez, that was the frailties, that he wasn't pragmatic enough on the defence and defending set pieces and everything. So hopefully we've got a manager now that is pragmatic enough to not ship goals so freely as a Roberto Martinez team, but who will also try and win matches when you've got players at your disposal, like your Richarlisons, like your Walcotts, like your Sigurdssons and Cenk-Tosuns, who if you give them the right system and the right service or the freedom to supply service, they're going to score a half full of goals.
They will. What did you make of Cenk-Tosun's performance at the weekend? Because I've seen people. Again, it's a small amount, but it always seems to me that when we upgrade, all of a sudden someone's not good enough, and just because we've brought some good players in, people are now. And again, I'm stressing it's a handful of people are questioning Tosun, and for me that's just berserk.
It is berserk, mate. It is absolutely berserk. You've only got to look at what he did. With how little he had last season, he still managed to bag 5 goals for us out of like 12 opportunities. Pre-season, last game against Valencia, scores a great goal out of pretty much nothing. I think on Saturday, his closing down, his general play, he didn't get on the score sheet, but that opportunity where he's closing them down and we end up getting a chance and he's got a shot on goal that's saved. I think he's maybe he wasn't as involved in the game as some would like, but there's always got to be a whipping boy, and I think maybe Cenk-Tosun, because he did get that flurry of goals last season, maybe people expected him to be getting 1 or 2 every game, or I don't know whether it is the expectations gone up or whether it's that you know, some of us are just still wanting to have a whinge, a bit frustrated maybe, I don't know, but I think I've got no time whatsoever for that. I think Cenk's the man. I think he's going to score loads of goals this season. I think he's going to create loads of chances. I think his overall play is fantastic. The way he's a strong lad as well, and we've seen him grow into it. I know that when Allardyce first came in and we saw him shunned for like a month because he couldn't handle the cold, and then he pops up at Stoke, doesn't he, and scores 2 in the coldest place in a snowstorm. So I think we're seeing him grow physically, get stronger, his game, he's getting better, everything he's saying. He came out the other day and said about Marco Silva, you know, the way he plays, he says he's foreign but he's like an English manager, that he's perfect for the kind of player he wants to be. No time whatsoever for people getting on Cenk's back. Like, come on, we're one game in, and I don't think he was that bad either. So
played well. We had 10 men for 50 minutes.
He ran himself into the ground. He was knackered as well. You know, it's just
to me, there's nothing to worry about.
Nothing
he
at
made
all.
one dodgy decision when he should have passed it to Walcott instead of shooting. But he's a striker.
But that's a striker. When you've been down to 10 men and you are feeding on scraps, you see that chance open up. I mean, he should have passed it. It's like, it's one of them. You'll look back on it, but that's his that's the chance that's held him in. Exactly. You also need your strikers to have that ruthless streak in them. And Wolves, with us with 10 men, they kept 3 at the back. And they
didn't even gamble, did they?
In them situations, it's like with Liverpool, you've got Firmino as the head of the attack, and you've got Salah and Mane on the wings. Now, if you speak to anyone about Liverpool, they're always going to go to Salah. Obviously, the 3 of them get mentioned, but it's always Salah and Mane that get the bulk share of the plaudits. But they don't do half the stuff they do if it's not for Roberto Firmino working his arse off and doing the things that he does. A lot of the stuff isn't highlight reel stuff.
No, it's not.
And it's stuff that will go unnoticed. And it's like, you get a lot of people that go to match you, like they've been on the ale all day, especially in an away day, and it's like, after time, the singing songs, looking at the away fans, and they're not even you don't see half the stuff sometimes. And they're the type of people that I think will be knee jerking on Tosin, because he didn't really do, apart from he set up a goal. Know what I mean? apart from that. So, but like, without doing a lot of highlight reel stuff, people in them situations, when they are half concentrated on stuff, they'll concentrate on maybe the 1 or 2 things that someone's done wrong in the match, and all of a sudden they've had a terrible game. Do you know what I mean? But you're both right. He's a good centre forward. I would have liked to have seen us bring in another one in the window.
But then that's, I suppose, as we go forward, if we're not looking at it, this window wasn't kind of last chance saloon for Silva, and he's got to put the piece. This is just the start. So I look at what they've done, and they've. It pains me to say, but there are neighbours, so you will do it. They just built on window, and he hasn't been able to get everyone he wants, so he's waited. Maybe in January or maybe next summer, another centre forward who's classy will be the target with, I don't know, another midfielder or whatever. I want to talk about the only new starter from last season we had, because I thought he was brilliant, Richarlison, and popped up with the goals to shove a few words down Paul Mason's throat at the weekend. What did you make of him, Dave?
Well, Paul Mason's words are always getting reversed back down his throat. I don't think he's had a coherent sentence since 2001. Actually, not even then. But he run out of superlatives for his display on the weekend. It was everything we hoped for and more. And to go from him being described as the player that wrecked the transfer window and overpriced, to now have comparisons to Thierry Henry. Do you know what I mean? And the way he took that second goal, that was Henry in his pomp. That was the way. And you never know. Potentially, though, we've just been speaking about a centre forward berth. Some games you could potentially go with him up front. You could. Like say it like an Arsenal away or somewhere like that. Playing him at the head of it could work, because he's got all the attributes. Like, again, this is another player to compare him to. I'm not saying he's anywhere near that level yet, but Ronaldo, Joe, when he first came to the league as a raw winger, you would have never saw him as an out-and-out striker at that point when he was playing on the wing. But when you look at the physique Richarlison's got at such a young age, there was that chance where it come over to at the back post, and that was a smart header back.
It was a good
and that shows that he can he can get up, and he's got a header in him. I think I've seen him score a header for Watford last season.
Against West Brom away, he's good.
So I mean, potentially that could be a position for him as well. If it's a game where you need to rotate him around.
This is what Marco Silva could be looking at. He could be going, well, because people are going, well, where's Bernard fit in? Where does Lookman fit in? Well, you move stuff around. You move stuff around. You know, we need to get away from going, well, we've got a centre forward, so we don't need another one. And we've got a left winger, so we don't. We need to be able to go. You know, today we're going away to Man City, or we're going away to them, and we're playing with Bernard and Richarlison, or Walcott through the middle and someone else. Do you know, that kind of thing to mix it up? It might not always. And what happens if we get an injury to Tosin or you know, I mean, I love Nias as a squad player to do, because I think he'll always get you the goal off his arse or whatever. And he's a nice. Although I didn't. Weirdly enough, I thought he was dreadful at the weekend in terms of he wasn't running the way he normally does. But he's good to have in the squad. But from the start, I think he's a better sub for me. So if you're going somewhere and you think, like Dave said, Arsenal away in a few weeks, we're on a roll. Richarlison's got a few goals in there, thinking, would these play Tosin up front? And we go to Genk, put you on the bench and put Richarlison and just hit them. It's an option, and the strength the kid's got, and he can run with the ball. He's ideal.
He's fantastic.
And as you say, like, you've got to have the options to keep teams. If you're going away to an Arsenal or a Liverpool or wherever, and they go, well, that's Everton's first 11. That's what's going to play.
That's it,
Then they know exactly how to prepare for you that week. Whereas Man City yesterday, obviously they've had bucket loads of cash and built that squad over many years. But they can go and win at Arsenal 2-0 like they did on the weekend, and have on the bench Jesus while they've got Aguero playing, and they've got Sane on the bench while they've got Sterling playing. They've got De Bruyne on the bench while Bernardo Silva's playing. It's just an embarrassment to riches. But that's how you compete on all fronts, and that's how you win football matches.
And we have to have that, even if it's the next level down. We're not saying we've got those players, but if you've got a good array of players who are on the bench, that's what you do. Sarah, you were there as well. What did you make of Richarlison's performance over? I mean, obviously, you know, he gets the free kick which we score from. You know, Leighton Baines involved again. Great ball in. I thought Michael Keane does ever so well going in, takes the eyes off people, and breaks, and Richarlison's there to gobble it up.
You know, instinctual finishes there as well. You know, it's straight off the bat. I think what was the stat? He hadn't scored in his last 53 attempts or something obscene like that for Watford, and it was his first shot for Everton. He scores it, and you know, for me, that it wasn't necessarily the prettiest of goals, but that's what we need. Someone who's on it like that, knows where the ball is, knows where the net is, bang, it's in, we're 1-0 up.
He won the free kick as well.
He won the free kick, and much to the annoyance of the Wolves fans, who were hilarious, by the way. Such an angry bull. I thought I was angry. You want to see them in the South Bank? I know. But, you know, because they were all sort of going, he died, it was brilliant. He sort of flicks his little ankles back. But it was a foul. He was getting kicked to pieces.
About 3 times.
But you've got to kick him to pieces because he's just that good. The lad's got everything. He's got pace. He's got the physicality for such a young lad as well. He's going to always win stuff in the air. He likes a tackle.
He went through one of them, didn't he? So he got a yellow card.
What's mad is with him, what I was really surprised, I obviously watched him, seen him last season, but he's playing for Watford, so it's you're seeing bits and pieces, aren't you? But just he has seen this. I'm not going overboard, but I just mean as a player, he's got everything, hasn't he? As a player, I mean, and by that, and what I mean is he's good in the air. He runs up and back, he works hard, he gets back. And with Leighton Baines was talking about him after the game and said he can't believe how good. He said he's exceptional.
Well, it's like if you're building a football, this is what I've always said whenever they do the Ronaldo-Messi debate. That I always say Messi is like a freak.
He is,
But Ronaldo is like if you were doing weird science and building a footballer, that's the archetypal footballer that you would build, and Richarlison is in that same mould as what would you everything you would want, every attribute. He's got it. He's got the physique, he's got the pace, he's got the skill, he's got the touch. It looks like he's got the vision. So it's all the base elements are there for him to become a great player.
40 million wasn't enough. It should have been 140.
I love that though, by the way, as well, that he was 40 million, because when the link
he wasn't
to
though,
him,
was he? Was 29 rising to, if we win the Champions League, they get 40 million, and I'll give them. Well, I won't because I haven't got it, but I'll be asking Everton to give them another 100 million.
Look, I'm sure we'll all chip in if we win the Champions League. We'll do a crowd fund.
Yeah, crowd fund just to give Watford a bit more money.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and I think when we got linked with Richarlison, there was even quite a lot of Blues that were like, "Oh, why are we going to throw money away on him? This person." Just think back to the player that we all saw for Watford at the start of the season. That player's there and he's only going to grow and grow. 40 million, that's like we've pulled a daylight robbery there, I swear to God.
Well, I hope so.
No, I would have done.
At the moment, he's the Premier League's top scorer with Mane, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we'll have that. He think he did Saturday night, didn't he? Tweeted the Premier League thing because he was top.
He's brilliant, and that's another thing about him as well. I know it's all about what they do on the pitch, but just everything about him.
And giving
the way giving his shirts away, the way he interacts with the fans. He'd got a lot of stuff on Twitter saying if he scores, he's got to do the pigeon dance. So when he scored, he was like literally came right in front of us, and he stops and he does the little pigeon thing, and it was just great. The fans were brilliant, weren't they, as well? Like the whole away end, it was like everybody was in it together again. Everyone was having a laugh and a joke.
There's been, I think it was deadline day, to be honest. I think that was the tipping point for a lot of fans to flip it back, because I think obviously a lot of people over the summer were still punch drunk on Sam Allardyce and the way Koeman played out and stuff like that, and then obviously the transfer window. Let me just, before we carry on with the game, we come to Jax's foul in a minute. What did you make of the transfer window? Were you worried going? I don't need to ask you because you've been here with us and we know you. Were you worried with how it was playing out, Dave, or were you on it? And I know that you are super chilled and positive anyway normally, or were you thinking, well, you know what, they seem to know what they want, let's see at the end of the window what they come up with?
It was definitely I'll never go overboard in terms of like throwing me rattle out the pan and like saying why isn't it done yet, because you don't want them to, especially after last year's window, you don't want them to knee jerk. I mean, anyone can start just bringing the players in, bish bash bosh. But if you bring in the wrong players, it can set you back 2 years.
Which it did.
Exactly. So it was like it was a case of seeing some players go out the door, which needed to happen. That happened, and you started seeing the positives, and it seems like sometimes we're looking at things that need addressing, and it's like the club don't see it, and it's like, why don't you see it? But from the get-go, it looked like he could see what we're seeing and what needs to change. And you seen the Deadwood going out, Richarlison had come in, but then there was some key positions where you were like, we do need to sign players. We were never going to be in relegation trouble. So it was like, I thought worst case scenario, it's going to take a few windows for us to become competitive again. But because the end of the window went so well, now I'm not saying these players are a sure thing. There's still a lot of variables in there in how players are going to adapt to the league, because we thought like Michael Keane was going to be a great signing. A lot of people thought Balassi was going to be the answer to like the wing, and
Klassen.
Everyone thought Klassen would adapt to the league. So for Balassi, see Richarlison, that's one tick done. But then you've got for your Klassen, that could be another Gomez or Bernard. Did they adapt? Do Mina and Zuma come in and do better than what Michael Keane did when he first came in? So I'm not getting too carried away even now. It's still a case of let's see how they do. But the fact that we were so active at the end of the window and we've brought in players with such potential, you think this season we could be competitive. So it's gone from me thinking, well, if we don't get them in, we might finish between 7th and 10th, and then it's about what we do in the following seasons. But as long as we see a change in the style of play and things to be positive, I'm willing to play the long game. But now the fact that they have brought these players in, you've got to be positive about the season, because especially when you see so many teams above us who are in transition. Arsenal have changed the manager, Chelsea have changed the manager, Tottenham haven't signed anyone. I think the top two, unfortunately, are the top two. We know who they are. Man United, the fans hate Mourinho. It could go either way. So it's gone from like best case scenario 7th to 10th to like thinking we could get in the mix up there.
You just don't know,
because you don't. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but Leicester went from relegation favourites to winning the league, and there's no reason. Martinez in his first season, no one would have, when he came in on day one and said, I'm going to get this team in the Champions League, everyone laughed, and people still do laugh about it. But don't forget,
we were 2 wins away.
We were 2 wins away from it.
Mm.
When we beat Arsenal at home 3-0, and convincingly you were our rivals for 4th that season. We were in the driving seat.
It was done.
All you had to do was beat Crystal Palace at home.
We were struggling,
and we didn't. And that was when it all blew up.
Yeah.
But that shows you what can happen when a manager comes in, makes not wholesale changes, but brings in personnel wise, brings in a couple of good players that fit his mode, and then galvanises the good players that were already there, that were stagnating a little bit. It shows you what can be done. And that top 4, 5, 6 a year or 2 years ago, you wouldn't have seen us breaking any in them. It looked solid. It didn't. I wouldn't have seen us breaking back into that anytime soon. But this season, I don't see why we can't aim to get up there. Otherwise, what's the point?
That's the point. I mean, for me, just very quickly, last summer when it finished, there was gaps. You're looking and going, we needed another left back, we needed a centre forward, and people were frustrated, and people were going, we've got Calvert-Lewin, when it shut this time, it was like, I'd have liked another striker, but we've got Tosin, and like you said, we've got Richarlison, Diaz, Calvert-Lewin, Walcott. We've brought 2 centre backs in, we've got the midfield. So I think the window closed, and I think a lot of our fans kind of went, we've actually done really good business here, now we can. And then everyone's gone to Wolves at the weekend, seen the way we've played, and it just felt like the fans were right on board with it. And if our fans are on board with what's going on, that takes the team up another level. It really does, because the feel good will it's like snowballs, and everyone, like you said before, Dave, you're looking forward to Saturday now, going, it's only Monday, can't wait to get the match Saturday and watch them and watch this. And I think that the longer we are able to hold on to that as fans, I think the better we're going to be as a football team. And listen, they have it across the park. Everyone's the best burgers they've ever had, the best everything, the best brushing of the road they've ever had outside. But it helps them keep that going, and I think Everton, we need to do that, because football should be about positivity and about enjoyment. And we all know the last few years have been a real bind. It's been horrible. It just really has been difficult to get that momentum going, but I feel as though it's back. Let's get back to the game. So we're winning 1-0, playing really well. I thought we were in absolute control of the game. What really impressed me was the way we were getting back into shape, in and out of possession with the ball. We give down the ball, everyone will drop back in, and everyone knew where they were playing, which was a massive thing for me, because too often last season there was gaps. Jagielka, Michael Keane knocks the ball square to him. He's let it run across his body in driving rain, so it can always...
As Steven Gerrard knows.
As Steven Gerrard knows, it can be quite slippy on that pitch. And heavy touch. For me, and I'm still going to say it, and people have disagreed with me, Evertonians have disagreed with me, it's fine. For me, it's debatable whether it's even a foul. For me. I think he wins the ball.
It's not a foul, it's a great tackle.
It's a great tackle. It's a tackle that happens 20 times on a football pitch every game, and is unpunished 19 times.
It is. It's really frustrating to see. I mean, I was sat there watching the game, just thinking about half time and thinking, this is going to be a nice second half. We're going to get another early one, probably go on to win 2-3-0. And all of a sudden, Keane's knocked it back, and Jags had a poor touch, gone in, and we were the other side of the pitch, so it was quite hard to see, but it looked like he got the ball from here, because you saw the change of direction on the ball and everything. And then all of a sudden, it's, he's gone. They've sent him off, he's gone. What the hell's going on here? And after watching it back, I've got to say as well, I think it's a great tackle. I know even on Match of the Day, you've got Shearer saying, it's the law of the game.
The angel, that is Alan Shearer.
That's the mad thing. It's like I thought I was in like a parallel universe, because as soon as I seen a replay of it, I thought, so obviously universally everyone's going to say this is the worst red card of the season. And then I scroll through Twitter and looking on the reactions, as you say, your Shearers, your Keones. Keown and
Mick McCarthy, by the way.
That's Keown's career.
Dogs going.
If that's a red card, Martin Keown would have never finished a football match in his life.
He'd never played the game. Neither would McCarthy, neither would Shearer. He'd never been able, Roy Keane, they'd never been able to play the game.
It's laughable, and I think it's one of those ones that, you can slow down anything and make it look bad. That's what he was saying as well. It looks worse in slow motion, but there's no way it's a red card. And I just think this is why it's so tough to swallow the pill kind of thing that we ended up drawing, because it was just very unjust. You know, even a booking would have been harsh, you know what I mean? And then...
Well, I was screaming when he gave a free kick.
Yeah,
I was screaming, and then he went to, and then I seen him go to his back pocket, and I went, he's gone here.
Yeah.
And pulled the card, and you're like, it was just like, oh, why, when we were playing so well, in control, we had it boxed, why does it always happen to us?
That's it,
exactly. But this is what we've got to get past as well. It's like we can't. Everton, that is like, it's funny. So sometimes it's all you've got when you're walking out of a game, with a big game like a semi-final or something, when it's like this stand's done a back pass to Suarez. You know what I mean?
Or Martial scored in the 94th.
It's like it's one of, in them situations in that evening. That's all you can, when you're having a bevy with your mates back in the pub after the game. It's like, well, it's Everton, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's what we do. But what we've got to move away from is that we're always hard done by situation, because that's part of the mentality thing. We need to shift. It's like
it's there because it does seem like it happens to us, but you're right.
But it's like, in a way, the team used to get buy into that and that thing, because in the last couple of years, when that happens and they go to 1-1 and we're down to 10 men, Allardyce probably would have just shut up shop and we'll take the 1-1. The players would have got that dread in the head of, it's only a matter of time before these get another, and they would have got another, and then they would have got another. Do you know what I mean? But now it was like, that's another. In a way, we can take a positive from the negative.
Say, you know what?
Because it's one of them things where they went, well, no, we're still going to do our thing. We're still going to play our football. And we're still going to attack.
And that, to me, is the biggest indicator of a shift in mentality over the last few years, and the ability of these players. These players that a lot of people were calling crap. I done this, I'm just telling you the story because Cyril heard it, but I got asked in November last year when we were dreadful, we were 3rd, 4th bottom, where will Everton finish? And I said 8th, and he were like, what? And I was like, 8th because they're better than anyone else. I said, no, but and I was like, no, the level of player is better than anyone else, and the level of player will take you back up that league. And that's what I think our fans have got to realise, that these actually are good footballers. Most of our fans will realise it, but some are hypercritical. They're good players, but it's about a mentality shift, and you're absolutely spot on. In the past, we'd have just, that game was gone because we got doubly punished. You give a free kick that I didn't think was. He steps up and bings it top corner. It's 1-1. The keeper should do a bit better. Should he? Yeah, it's still a great free kick. I'm not going to take too much away from Neves because he's put it brilliantly. But our players, they can go,
woe is me.
That's it, 1-1, they scored, and all that. They got in that dressing room, and I think Marco Silva's gone, get on the ball, push up. And you know what else was really good? I was watching with my mate and my dad, and like my mate's like, there'll be Tosun, won't it? And I was like, that'll be Sigurdsson. And he was like, no, and I was like, it'll be Sigurdsson because he'll keep the pace. He'll want it. Cenk will keep it, but he'll still want, because that's the kind of manager he is, where other managers would have gone, Cenk, come off and we'll basically play without a striker. And he didn't, he just left the shape. Sigurdsson come off, on we went.
Well, that's it. Allardyce would have took off Tosun.
Yeah, he would have.
And then that the problem, like, no disrespect to Gylfi, he was the most disposable player.
He was at that time,
if you want to still win that game, he's the most disposable player, because he's the player that you've got, the luxury player that you've got in that system. But you need Tosun to occupy the centre halves, and that's what gives the wingers the chance to still get in the game, and that's what happened in the second half. So we scored our second goal.
Exactly. I mean, were you impressed with the way we went after the game in the second half, even though we were a man down? Yeah,
I think, and I remember at half time saying as well, and all the fans around me were kind of on the same wavelength, that we'll still go on and win this game. We'll still win this game, and I think we were very, very unfortunate not to do so. As you said, Seamus Coleman makes the right decision at the end there, and we do win the game. And it's like, you said earlier as well, Dave, that when it comes to these poor decisions being given against us, what we've got to do is go, these are happening, but we've got to make our chances count, because we could have still won that game, and probably should have done. But
we had opportunities. We had the one in the first half after we just scored with Richarlison, and he tried to flick it to Walcott. He should have used his left foot or shot. And then in the second half we had the Cenk Tosun one where he should have played Walcott in. But we did go in front, Dave, and it was a really, really well worked goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic, and the way Richarlison's took that shows true class. That not many players have that composure to finish in that nature. So it was set up then perfect to win it, and it would have been, if we come away winning that, then just we're already hyper super positive about what we've seen. That it would have been just desserts for that game and the effort they put in. So it's a shame they didn't hold on, but it's dropping these 2 points. It's not the be all and end all at the end of the day. Martinez's first season, we drew at Norwich, first game of the season.
Drew the first 3.
We did. That's right, yeah.
And 2-2s, didn't we?
And that game at Norwich that day was a game that we should have won. I think it was a silly goal. We'd gone 1 down, but then we'd scored 2. Had Barkley that Welding come, and then we conceded a silly equaliser.
Nicky Van Wolfswinkel, he didn't score again.
It was a silly goal to concede, but again, it was a game that it was the exact same mindset as this, where like it's 2 points dropped, but the positives are there. So let's move forward, and that's where we're at again here. And we've got a nice run of winnable fixtures coming up, though. And obviously in the Premier League, every game can be tricky. But what we've got to improve on this season from last year is winnable games. It's like, how many times in the last year under Moyes he had a good record of games we should win at home were routine home wins, and that's what it's got to become again. When you've got your likes of your Southamptons coming to Goodison, the last few years that's got 1-1 draw written all over it. But these are games we have to win. We have to win.
Sarah, with the second goal, obviously Richarlison scores a cracking goal, and then again I thought we were comfortable even with 10 men. I was thinking it'll be 3-1. I thought we'll get another one. They had a good little spell. Neves was brilliant for them all day. They're classy, and they're a nice side to watch. They pass it around really well, and they're expansive. I just think they're wide open, and I think better teams than Everton, i.e. Liverpool's, your Man City's team, will put or could potentially destroy them if they continue to play the way they did.
And we'll be able to poach Neves then when they go back down.
Neves,
because if you look, if we're gonna, obviously we've got Gomez in now, and we've got your Bernards that are going to come in, but Neves will be an ideal player in that system alongside a Gay, someone who can bridge between a number 10 and midfield, but has got that class to make things happen. They've got the long distance goal in them. They've got that assist in them, which a Schneiderlin doesn't have in them.
Doesn't do. So we give him. What did you make of the equaliser? What did you think of the equaliser?
It was frustrating. A frustrating one to concede. Because, like you said, I think at points even we could have killed it off and got ourselves 3-1 up, and that's game over then. And they had that spell where they started to come back into the game. I think it is again typical Everton, and maybe that mindset kind of crept in a little bit because the fans were getting a bit edgy as you creep in towards the final 10 minutes and you're thinking, oh, this has been such a good game, if we can just get this over the line. And their fans, they had a bit of possession, their fans kind of got up for it a little bit. It was a frustrating one to concede as well. I think you said, like, Holgate loses his man, Walcott wasn't doing much for us defensively, and Neves just has the freedom to pick his ball into the box. And
it's a great ball.
It was a fantastic ball. I mean, he puts it on a plate for the lad. And Keane, for me, I know we disagreed on this one, I think should be doing better. And
I'm not saying he wasn't. He was faultless, because obviously he wasn't, because the lads ran behind him.
Yeah.
I think he got attracted to the. I think he got caught between the two.
Yeah.
And he didn't know which one to take.
With, of course, Jags being missing. Yeah.
But he still realistically should have been touched tight to him, but it's one of them.
It's frustrating. It was a really frustrating one, and you could just see as soon as the ball left Neves' boot, you just knew, and it's that going right in front of us, and the crowd erupts, and it was frustrating. But even after that, it still felt like there's another goal, and if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be us. And I really did think that we were going to go on to win the game. And of course, when you see Shamey bombing it down the right hand side of the pitch, we're all like, go on, waiting for it to just go, because I'm covered in bruises, by the way. It was mental. It was absolutely mental. I think maybe it would have been dangerous if that third one had gone in, because it was wild.
I mean, that was so frustrating, that break at the end, because if Coleman, he's onto it like a shot, he does ever so well, he's got Nias. If he just delays...
It was a tired pass.
It was a tired pass.
We've played with 10.
We have. I mean, I think that's the thing with the goal, with the equaliser, into the crowd. When you're there, you're screaming at them, but they've been running for so long with 10 then, and keeping them up. they weren't in the game. That's how well we played. But you're right, it was a tired ball. If he could have just waited, I think the defender has to go to him and then he can cut it back for Niasse, but he just got it out of his feet, didn't he, as quickly as he
Shout out, talking about the bruises and stuff, shout out to the lad in the Everton end who dislocated his elbow. When Richarlison scored. I seen a picture of it on social media. His name's escaped me.
Oh, he's like, look what Richarlison's done to me.
Yeah, me mate Liam, who I know from the match, it was one of his mates had seen him retweet it, but new aspect to the term, limbs.
Literally.
limbs.
There was a lad as well getting walked past after the first game with a bandage and blood like pouring out of his head as well. That's it. So Richarlison killing our fans already.
But he's winning us money as well. So
exactly.
Maybe we just need to go like that. We need to adopt the when you've been winning things a bit too long, like the Chelsea fans when they won the FA Cup. And
having a cucumber sandwich on the train home. What should we do tomorrow?
But I mean, at the end of the day, I thought we've played really well. There's been some great performances with Richarlison. I thought I can't pick anyone out and go, he wasn't very good. Coleman was hit and miss for me on Saturday, just in the final third. But his energy to get up and down is great, and that Seamus will get himself into form and he'd be great.
Of course.
That's one of the knee-jerk that show, like the way you're talking about the way Tosin gets stick. Yeah. That's the problem with social media. Just everyone's got a voice for a knee-jerk. I seen on social media Coleman's overrated. He's been mediocre for 18 months. I was thinking, I'm sure 18 months ago his leg was in that.
Yeah, he might be mediocre playing Scrabble or something. But he come back and was brilliant last season for we've no worries about. See, that's the thing with the likes of Walcott. Someone was slagging and you're like, he's the least. Don't worry about that. Them players do it every year. Don't worry about them. Walcott had an hour against Valencia, and he's come and played the full 90 on Saturday with 10 men.
Yeah.
To get himself fit. The other players have had 5 games, 6, 7, 8 games. He's had
yeah,
one.
But do you know what? He was
don't worry about Theo. Don't worry about
off day, wasn't it? Like you said, and there's reasons for
that
as
if
well.
our players were at their on days every single week,
it'd be our
then
year.
we'd win the league. Well, we'd win everything, wouldn't we? Because players do dip, don't they? And
exactly.
I don't forget, it's day one. Normally, like a few years ago, you'd be like, we have to wait for about 5 or 6 games till they're up to speed, and now everyone's wants you on day one. But I thought it was a good performance. I was really enthused by it, by the things we've said, the shape, going after the team even with a man down, not letting our heads drop. Both times we conceded, again we went for it. Other times we wouldn't be kicking it anyway. We weren't under any kind of pressure at any time really in the game, even at 1-1, at 2-2. So that for me, that's what I took out of it, and I thought, you know what, it gives him something else to work on. And he'll be back on that training ground, and as we go forward with these, and you forget that there's still almost half a team new to be available.
That's it.
Isn't it?
And they're to come in onto what was already there on Saturday, which if we were moving forward with just the team that played on Saturday, you'd say, well, there's positives there. We can do this and we can do that, and you didn't even have them new players, and your bench was your Tom Davies, and you've got Niasse to come on as a little sub, and there's players there like your Kieran Dowles that could come through. But you're right, you've got a half full of new players there that we've brought in that have still got to be bedded in. That, as we've said, let's not go over the top and expect too much too soon off them. Some players that need to adapt to the league, but I don't see any reason, as I said earlier, why we shouldn't be looking at challenging for the top 4. That's where our aim should be. And if we fall short and we finish 5th or 6th,
then that's great, isn't it?
Then that's where we fall.
And if we finish 7th and we get Europa League, like it's been in the last few years, then again that's another positive, because you can bring on the likes of your Dowles in that competition and have a right good go at
but
that.
the league aside, give us a cup.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the League Cup. It's such a winnable competition. I have this. It's Groundhog Day, and I'm saying it again for the 20th consecutive year. But why attack that cup?
Yeah.
And now we've got a squad to do it.
Yeah.
There's no need to be playing at a team that will get nowhere near the Premier League in the League Cup, because we've got a squad now that's capable. Rotate it round a little bit. A couple of players who were on the fringes of things that are unlucky to not be in the team, bring them in for the League Cup game, 1 or 2 of them, but keep it as close to your strongest 11, and that cup can be won. But and then there's Europe, and then there's the 23-year trophy. Or how many years are we on now, Baz? 23 year, and it was Coleman.
24.
Well, it was Coleman who said it the other day. Our number 23. He was like, I want to bring this group of fans a trophy. That's all we ask. We just want to see, and hopefully Coleman's the new captain and he's the one that's lifting it. Just go for that League Cup, and obviously the FA Cup's there, and we've got no Europe to have to worry about this year. So I don't see why we can't be consistent in the league and attack the domestic cups, and let's see where we end up come May. And that's when you'll see me back here, all positive.
Celebrating.
No, we've got a team capable now of going. That's exactly the same. We did our predictions for the season. I said 7th in the League Cup, because I think now when you look at the players that have come in, that would be incredible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's a given by any means. That would be a fantastic season, but it's doable when you look at particularly the two centre halves that have come in, because at the back we desperately needed them. We think of them coming in, but we said off air before as well, we forget that we've got the likes of Bernard to come in, who's a little superstar. Richarlison, Tosun, these are big game players who are capable of doing things. Lookman, Walcott. We've got a team now, Gylfi Sigurdsson, of players who are all capable of pulling out those big moments in games, and that's all you need is a couple of them in a cup competition and a good run. It'd be nicer for a change we didn't get Liverpool at Anfield for the first round, or Chelsea at Stamford Bridge or anything. So hopefully we'll get
give us
a bit of luck
and all of that.
It'd be nice like when Portsmouth won it a few years ago, wouldn't it? And they didn't really have to beat anyone. That'd do us. I don't care. Just we need to end that hoodoo, don't we?
In the semi-final.
But to be fair to Portsmouth, we went to the semi the year after, didn't we? Obviously they had the 3 championship sides in the semi, but we got there the next year, and it was like the old top 4, wasn't it? Apart from we'd knocked Liverpool out, but then there was like Chelsea, Man U, and it was Arsenal, because it was before City. It broke up there. But the only team Pompey did beat that year was United away, wasn't it? That was the day when they won it in like the 4th round or something. But that was a mad cup competition. But I mean,
look at Swansea the other year. Swansea had Bradford in the final.
Exactly.
And although they had to beat Chelsea.
Every time Liverpool seems to get to a domestic final, it's against a lower league team who they draw and beat on pens. So give us a.
Give us just one. Give us a League Cup.
But in this team, I'm gonna. It's like, when I keep harping back to that Martinez era, but when that change of ethos came in, you were saying under Moyes we never won at them hard away grounds. It was like, but you were like, bring on them away grounds, and then we went into them games with that mentality that season, and we went and won at United, and we went and did that amazing performance at Arsenal, if you remember, when Delafeu equalised, when we played Arsenal. We played Arsenal off the park. But this season under this manager, if we get Drew away at a Liverpool or a United in the cup, go and attack them. What can you lose?
Go for it.
Do you know what I mean? And we've got the players now that could hopefully go and get us wins at them places.
More a positive way to finish. We're going to finish 7th and win the League Cup, and we're winning at all the top grounds from David. That isn't positive. What is? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Were you impressed by Everton's performance at the weekend? And can we end this trophy drought with this squad?
Fingers crossed.
Are you looking forward to seeing the half a new team that is on the massage table of Finch Farm as we speak? If you haven't subscribed, do so now, right this second. And if you want more videos, join us on Patreon. See you later.